Happy Saturday, everyone. So, first I want to say thank you to everybody that's been reaching out and commenting on my Facebook post. And originally, when I posted it, I figured, well, the ones that know will know. And then I realized there was a lot of people that didn't know because I'm a very private person. And, when you're doing certain things, sometimes you just need to keep your energy and vibes to yourself and different things. And I just do what I have to do. But on another note, I figured, well, I would really like to tell everybody what happened and how things transpired and how and why I handled it, or why some people are like, really? Were you going through that? I didn't even know. And it's really a lot to say, and I figured I really can't fit it in the comments on Facebook. So I guess today's as good a time as any to share my story with everybody. And, my goal wasn't to get likes or for people to reach out or anything like that. It was really for me and a few close people. And I've been sitting with this for a few months that, I feel like if I share my story, and I have, with those that I felt needed it, and I guess that's what my goal is here. I hope that maybe it'll help some of you that may need it, or a family member, or, make you think about things differently that you might be going through in your life, or someone else is going through in your family or whatnot. So here goes. I had sinus cancer. I'm pausing because most people are probably going, wow. Because most people automatically, I think, just because of the fact that I was a woman, just assumed that I was dealing with breast cancer. But in fact, I wasn't. However, on my schedule of treatment, the majority of my daily company were breast cancer patients. And I will get to that. But I'm going to backtrack a little bit. But first, I will tell you what my treatment process, what I had done. I ultimately wind up having 2 surgeries, and then 33 radiation treatments to my face, which, when you have head and neck cancer, requires a mesh overlay mask be made for your face, because it's imperative that you don't move, and it's always targeting the same spot because, there's a lot of delicate things there, your brain being one of them. And they actually put this, they make the mold and they make it for you, and it's fitted just for you, and you wear it every time, and you are literally locked to the table by your face. So I had that 5 days a week, 33 treatments, and while simultaneously having chemo, which I did 3 rounds of chemo with 2 chemo drugs. And I'm kind of tiny, so I think that it was a lot. It was heavy duty. Chemo's heavy duty anyway, but I think that my size and stuff, my doctors were kind of concerned that would I tolerate it. So, and in my mind, I was getting through this. There was absolutely no way in hell I wasn't getting through this. And, that attitude always helps. But backtrack. So, most of my mom died of lung cancer. And, you never want to see a family member go through that. But, when you are going through the process of taking care of family members and stuff, there's all these different things going on, and you're putting 2 and 2 together, and you're not. And I can't even really explain all that. But after my mom had passed and stuff, and I started getting back to things that I needed to do, because like I had doctor's appointments, and yeah, some I went, but some I had to take a precedence to, taking my mom, or different things in life that come and go. But that's not my point. The point was not about taking care of my mom. The point was the message that kept coming to me while I was taking care of my mom, and then very strongly after my mom had passed. And, I think I had only spoke on it maybe to one person in my family, which was my cousin Albert, because the message was coming from his mom. Because when my Aunt Marion, she had taken care of her mom prior to her passing. And then not long after her mom passed, my aunt got diagnosed, and it was like, boom, 1, 2, 3, and she was gone. As fast as it came was as fast as she was gone. And, I think, it's bittersweet, but not to have to see the suffering part of it was a blessing. Because I don't know if most people realize what it really entails. However, my Aunt Marion, for years, I would hear her, and she kept telling me, that memory kept coming back and coming back and coming back. And I'm like, this has got to be her, because why can't I let this go? So, now I'm, like I said, getting back to work, getting back to life and different things. And I had lost a good amount of weight and stuff and all, but I kind of attributed it to the stress of, everything that was going on and what I was dealing with. But again, I know my own body. I do have my own issues, and I doctor, and I stay healthy for the most part, and I try to stay on top of things. So I started getting back to all my doctor's appointments. And I was like, this message keeps coming. Something's wrong. I couldn't figure out exactly what or where, and different things. And then different things started happening, and I pieced it together. But anyway, long story short, because of that memory, I kind of start riding my doctors. Something's going on here. And I always share with all my doctors what I did or said, or, from one to one, so they're all on the same page, bring them copies of things and stuff. And I'm like, the ball's being dropped. Somebody's dropping the ball, and I'm on the hunt to figure it out one way or another. And, then you got the ones that think you're a hypochondriac, or you're crazy, or you're fine and nothing's wrong, and different things and stuff. But, your gut feeling is your gut feeling. So my point here is, we all have intuition, and I use mine always. Always, always, always. There's not anything that happens, or a person that crosses my path during the day, or something that I look at and think it's a coincidence. It's not. I always look at things, they're for a reason. I read the signs and things that are laid out there before us. And, some people believe in that and some people don't, and that's fine. But that's how I kind of roll with things. Just like, if there's a problem, we're just going to tackle it head on. I'm not going to sit there and cry about it. So even when I was diagnosed, I had my one day of tears, went over with my Moose family and danced and had drinks and like whatever and cried it out. And then the next day it's like, all right, let's get after this. So first surgery came, and, even getting ready to take me down there, and I'm still bringing it up, and they're still saying, nope, we're going to go in, you got chronic sinuses, we've been here before, you had surgeries for this before, we're just going to go in and clean it out. And, well, my sister probably could tell you a little different story on how that rolled out, because, basically when they came down and told her mid-surgery, I think for the amount of blood that this doctor had on him, I think she thought I was dead anyway. But, they cut, and there was cancer in there. So, do what they can, grab what they can, close you up, come see me post-op, and they look devastated. And all my doctor can get out is, wow, your intuition was on point. And again, not only that, I know my own body. And then I brought it back to that because there's things that were said and done in doctor's appointments. And it's like, oh, you know what? We're going to keep an eye on this. And when we have surgery for this, I'm going to go in and get that. That's something that I'm never going to forget. And I'm going to make sure we're going to be on top of it. And I was kind of like, wow. I brought this up how many times, and I kept saying it, and they couldn't find it, and, they couldn't track it to anything. So then I started getting phone calls every day from my doctor, personally, because now they're like trying to backtrack, and they're looking through things, and they can't find record of it. And I'm saying, well, I think that you might have just dictated it because, you only scoped my nose. It wasn't showing on the screen and different things. But that's here nor there at this point. So, had a second, not a second opinion, but now, getting on track for the fact that there's cancer. So now we're doing the tests that could have been done prior had they actually listened to what I was trying to say. Like, what is it to do a test? Like just make sure before you cut into me, But when it comes to the money, the way the system works, yeah, we could do another test, but we'll get more for the surgeries. Let's just skip that. Or they drag you out test after test after test after test when they know damn well you need surgery. So my point is to get across to everyone is please be your own advocate. Doctors are human, and, they make mistakes too. So you have to stay on top of them. And you have to do, your part for your health and your journey and different things. So anyway, let's move forward. So now I don't like the surgeon that wants to go back in because he's coming at me with, we're going to cut your skull, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And just the way he was speaking, the vibe wasn't there for the bedside manner. So call my sister and say, find me the best head and neck cancer surgeon. I don't care if I have to get on a plane. We got to get this taken care of because I have an aggressive cell, a crazy cell, no case for them to compare it to. They're nothing. So my sister starts researching because if anyone knows my sister, you know that she's the best in her field and she does PET scans. So this is her forte because she deals with cancer patients on the daily. She starts sending me, some names of doctors and their backgrounds and stuff to look into for another opinion. And so later on, like that night or the next night, I don't even remember, I'm picking her up. We're going to go to my friend Abra's and for a sound bath healing. And she's like, oh, guess what? I had a dream about Mommy last night. Mommy showed me a picture of us at the San Gennaro Festival in New York. She goes, what do you think? And I looked at her like, I think Mommy's saying to go to the doctor in New York, Karen. You don't have to tell me twice. That's it. Decision made. Because again, I live my life like that. And I know it's hard for some people to wrap their head around, but a lot of my choices and decisions that I make come solely on messages like that. And they always have. And I've taken a lot of backlash from some people for it, but it is what it is. I don't care. So my journey begins with Memorial Sloan Kettering, Manhattan, with one of the best surgeons who had the best bedside manner, because there is nothing better than having a surgeon that is just a great guy and down to earth and just can connect with the patient, because it's hard enough getting a cancer diagnosis for most people. Now, I've been through a lot of medical stuff. If you know me, you know. But the way you handle a patient that maybe hasn't been through stuff like that is a big deal. And even when I, was working with patients, and I worked at the cardiac cath lab at Jeff and the different hospitals that I was at, I knew what it was like to be the patient as well. So I, showed both sides. to my patients that I dealt with on the daily, because they come in with horror stories and different things passed down from people that maybe didn't have a good experience and different things and didn't educate themselves on anything. But anyway, so moving forward, so post second surgery, I am, take my couple days and whatever, maybe like before my my check-in, my checkup, post-op checkup, and I am out with Luch and the gang from South Philly, South Philly in the house for the summertime, dancing my ass off, because not only is music healing and keeps the vibration up, but I also, had to clear my head and get focused, to get ready for treatment. It's just not something you go into blindly. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not something that you can go into negatively and having ho-hums and feeling like, oh my God, and what's going to happen? No, definitely not. You got to have your head clear. You have to have good vibes around you. I mean, I pretty much walked away from everything and everyone. I kept in touch here and there. I did stay away I had to stay up by the cancer center for treatment. My doctors worked with me as far as, as maybe an hour and 20 minutes from here. I didn't have to do the treatment in Manhattan like the original plan was, which was wonderful, because that in of itself was stressing me out. And, so, go out and dance on the weekend. I don't know, Bally's, Vagabond, wherever Luch was playing, I was there. And if he wasn't and it was online, then it was rolling in the house. So I go back for my follow-up checkup, and the surgeon's like, oh, how was your weekend? And, and I'm like, oh, I was out dancing all weekend. And he looked at me like, good God, no, you weren't. I said, oh, yeah, I was. He said, I would have rather you've been out drinking. And I said, yeah, but see, I would rather dance than drink. So it's all good. I'm fine, and he checked me out and it was good. So that's our big thing now, because every checkup and check in, that is his first question to me is, did you go dancing this weekend? And I'm like, well, hell yeah. I mean, if Luch is in the house and I'm not working or otherwise occupied, then yes, I'm going to dance. And sometimes I pay for it the next day, because let's face it, ladies, we're getting older, and the recovery time's a little different sometimes. I know, for those of you that know, I look like the Energizer Bunny when I'm out there, and I do know that. And that's because I feel the music so much, and I feel the energy and the vibration off of it. And I utilize it. And I utilize it to heal myself, and I utilize it to bring healing or positive vibes or whatever to other people. Because it does. I mean, music and art therapy and different things, and people think that it's silly, but it's there for a reason. So back to my journey. So post Labor Day weekend, everybody's celebrating Labor Day weekend, and I'm rolling into my first days of treatment, and I'm ready. And all I can say is, I got on this regimen of, I always ate kind of healthy, but I really focused on what I was eating. And I do Reiki. I originally learned Reiki for my own self. But I did, for those of you that are familiar with Reiki, or not familiar with it, it's energy healing. And it's done with the hands, and it's helped to move the energy out, the stagnant energy away and stuff. So I did Reiki and put energy healing into my food and everything I drank and myself. And, September, October weather was still great. So I'm doing, like I said, after my radiation treatment, because you're only there for 5 minutes. I mean, you're in and out. I'd go out and I'd walk my miles every day and stuff with the music in my ears, or whatever I felt that was going to keep me up. Met a lot of people at the hotel that I stayed at, and everybody there for different reasons and different stories. And that's another thing I want you all to understand about these kinds of journeys and how you heal yourself, and when you're going through struggles and your problems. The best way to get through it is when you can help others as well, even when you're going through your own stuff. And I know, a lot of people, they'll say, oh my God, how, like I got to do. It's because if you can help and you can share things and you can share an experience, or you've already been through that, and I can help you talk about that. One, maybe it's taking your mind off of something you're doing, but it's this reciprocal exchange of energy in a positive and a good and hopefully uplifting way. So I, kept to myself a lot while I focused my energy on that, and there were people around that were hurting and different things, and that, felt like, and I got a backache and this and that, and, and I want to help, but I'm saying, oh, I'd send you some Reiki, but like right now I got to just take care of me. So each day, the mask part was probably the hardest for me, but every day got easier. My team, I had a young team, my radiation team, and they were cool. They too looked forward to the Monday morning stories of my weekend and dancing escapades. And all I do is just dance. There's nothing really else to tell. I go out, I dance, I come home. It's really not like there was actual escapades going on, even though some people may think that there were. Sorry to disappoint you all. Not really. Finished, like I said, this was my 1 year. The 21st of October was 1 year to the day. I finished the October 19th was 1 year, my last radiation treatment. The 21st was my last chemo. So on the 22nd, it was like, wow, it's finally like done, and I got back to things. So this is my 1 year, anniversary of all this process. I have been there for my last sets of scans. Everything's still good. I'm still cancer free. I'm cleared for another 6 months. Because for those of you that don't know, your first year is your most critical. They bring you in every 4 months, and then they spread it to every 6 months, and then to once a year. And all going through this, and I think back and watching, some of my friends struggle and go through these different cancers as well, and kept them all close to me to say, oh, you know what, my girl Monica did it. She kicked dance, she kicked it. She's, kudos to her, and I'm going to keep that in my mind. She did her thing, and Tracy, and I watched you do your thing, and I was going through my thing kind of like when you were going through your thing, and I know I could have, and then, I watched so many different people on Facebook and stuff, and people going through things, and just saying, sending good energy to them, and just saying, yep, I got this too. And, my doctors, and they still are, especially my rad onc, he is flabbergasted that I had no side effects that he could help me with. They were expecting my face to peel away, although I said the fact that I like to be out in the sun probably leathered up my skin enough to keep that intact. I did get, sores and stuff inside my nose, but I had nothing, on the exterior. I did get a little darker, and my skin got a little thicker right here over the bridge of my nose. But, once treatment was done, that kind of, with a gentle scrub, that skin kind of peeled away, just like, tan fades. So, and he's still flabbergasted every time I go. He's like, there's like nothing I could do for you. And I just can't even believe it, and my med onc, and she's wonderful. And she video chats with me because she does not leave Manhattan. And the whole time she just kept saying, just keep doing whatever you're doing. You're like the talk of the department. Just keep doing whatever you're doing. And I'm like, don't worry, I plan on it. And all the while in my mind, I'm going, not only am I going to keep doing this, but I am going to be on a mission. And I say this from the bottom of my heart. It's a lot of energy. A mission to be able to share these things with other cancer patients or other patients in general. that there are other things out there that help and work and could maybe even give you a little bit of relief from side effects. And I'm walking proof of that. I am definitely walking proof of that because I also use crystals and I also use essential oils and different things like that. So it was absolutely heartbreaking to walk in that cancer center every day and watching these people suffer needlessly when we have these things available that have been around for centuries, because so many people out there made it taboo, like there's something wrong with it. Because you know what's wrong with it? It will not make them money. And I know you all know who I mean without me having to say it. Without me having to say it. I watch these breast cancer patients on my rate, and mind you, you know, the energy, and I got to bring people up to my energy. And I was going in every morning, good morning, ladies. How's your boobies? How's your boobies? How's your boobies? Bring them up. Bring them up. Listening to their stories of them suffering with the burnt raw skin, and they're giving them topical chemical to put on this, which is giving them more pain. Now, I know these ladies didn't know me from Adam or have to listen or have to trust me or anything. But, you know, the couple that did, go get yourself a head of cabbage, I said. Put the cabbage leaf inside your bra if you have to wear a bra or whatever you're separating you. They give it to nursing moms for the same reason. You know, go get yourself an aloe plant. Not the aloe in the bottle, a plant. Treat the burn. Oh, they tell us not to use that. Yeah, I bet they do. Because the aloe plant's not making them hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And they know that. So when I say be your own advocate and do your own research, it's really, really important. It's really, really important. And since from when I came back from finishing treatment, I couldn't believe how many women just in the area right here where I'm living were newly diagnosed with breast cancer. It's like the numbers, like it's crazy. And you know what? I told them the same thing. I told them, girls, listen, if they try to give you this and they try to give you that, by all means, if you want to try it, try it. But if not, try this, because they did, and it worked. And it worked. So that's my mission. You know, baby steps, one day at a time. I believe that people cross our paths for a reason. And, you know, it's amazing through videos and different things. There is a lot of crap out there, and there is a lot of bullshit, and there is a lot of download stuff. And you really do have to be discerning about what you're watching, what you're listening to, who you're talking to, and different things. But the one thing I say always, if it's somebody positive, somebody playing music that's going to get you up off your ass and dancing, go for it. And, you know, I have one more shout out in the music industry that I'd like to give to, and that would be Frankie Cutlass. And he doesn't know me from Adam, Frankie. But when I came home from treatment, it just happened to, you know, I'm sitting there just chilling with the dog and whatever, and happened to pop on Facebook, and he happened to pop up, and he's live. And man, and he's playing like our jams, you know, because I know, you know, my South Philly friends, we love our freestyle. And then he starts talking, you know, and he's looking right in the camera, and he's like, Kim, you got to keep fighting. You got to keep fighting, and we're doing this for Kim. And I'm like, you know, and he's talking about stage 4 and Kim. I like felt like he was talking directly to me. The energy coming off of him, it was like, and I'm like, in the minute it was like, oh my God, is he freaking talking to me? Because that's what it felt like. But I knew he wasn't talking to me. He was talking about a very dear friend of his, and and stage 4, and like they're pumping her up, and I shared it because I felt everything in that night in that video. And unfortunately, his friend Kim, she did lose her battle. But for some reason, I got this feeling and this thing, and it's like that won't get out of my head either. That he felt like he was talking to me, and he felt like he was talking to me. And the fact that for some reason, somebody's in my ear saying, you need to tell your story, you need to tell your story. So I'm not sure if it's Kim, if it's just somebody that wants my story out there. But it's months now that somebody's telling me to tell Frankie Cutlass this story. So I hope either way, it was still very touching because I still felt like you were pumping me up as well. So from my mouth to God's ears, I've been praying for millions of dollars. I swear. I've been parable, whatever. I listen to people and they want to quit their job and they want to, I'm going to buy this and I'm going to do this. And I'm thinking, well, I got everything I need. I have everything I need. I want this money so that I can change things. I want to change the integrative medicine department at these cancer centers. Things need to change. And unfortunately, we still live in a world where it won't change without the money. It's all about the money. It's like the money is the root of all evil. But yet, even to do the good things, you can only get so far without the big bucks. Because these integrative medicine departments, they came to me on my last day of treatment, to introduce themselves, that they offer a massage. I would have loved a massage. But again, I'm here, it's my last day. And I'm thinking, not only massage, yoga, Reiki, a room of aromatherapy, there's so many things that they could be doing and sharing with these patients. And, not everybody's going to want it. Not everybody's going to believe in it because of things that they were told or things that got passed down the line, and that's fine. But if it was there for people that want to utilize it, or, how about educate them on it and make people look at it and understand it another way? I don't know. Room for thought. But the whole point of it wasn't just a random post on Facebook today. It was a milestone. And I did do it with a smile on my face. And that's because of the music and the inspiration and the fact that I love to help people and I don't want people to feel pain. So I'd rather focus on the other patients that were there and show them ways to make themselves feel better. So I hope my story helps. And I'm sure I left a lot of it out. And I'm sorry for the tears. It's just a lot of energy. But if it helps you, if you're going through it, or maybe a family member, or, maybe a stranger, even down the line. You never know. But so to my friends and family who think that I've cut them out of my life or anything like that, know that I'm working on a lot behind the scenes that's very, very passionate about and very important to me, especially coming through it firsthand. But I will say, the only side effect I had was my hair loss, which, if anyone knows me, I welcomed because I wore my hair pulled back for most of my life because of hair loss that I had at a younger age. So, and it's coming in and it's super, super curly, thus the baseball hat, because I'm at an awkward stage and learning how to take care of the curls. I wasn't a day nauseous from chemo. I didn't have to use any meds at all. And, made homemade ginger tea and drank a lot of green tea and stayed away from sugar. And, my biggest complaint was my taste buds on the days that I did have chemo because it gives you metallic. And, I like to eat being Italian and stuff. So I didn't want to ruin things that I love. So I ate things that I tolerated until I was blue in the face. But it all worked out in the end. And, but on that note, I need a tissue, folks. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And shout out to our Phillies and Eagles because, yes, we all can use some positive, good home, wholesome fun from home. So everybody be safe. Be safe while you're out there celebrating. I see what you guys are all doing on Broad Street, but be safe, have fun, be safe, and be mindful. We could have fun without anyone getting hurt or anything like that out there. So, on that note, I'll catch you all on the dance floor.